As tax season now heats up, there are plenty of tax benefits to buying and owning a home. Joining us to talk about them is Patrick Daly, a CPA and partner at Citrin Cooperman. He's also a member of New York State Society of CPAs for our Taxes Made Simple series, brought to you by TurboTax. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very simply, I thought that the majority of us don't itemize. Therefore, the tax advantage of, for instance, the mortgage interest deduction had really been taken away in exchange for the higher standard deduction. Is that not the case?
That is the case. What the government did is they increased the standard deduction to $24,000. And with the cap of the SALT deduction at 10, if your interest and your charity were not more than $14,000, you were taking the standard deduction.
But that's not, for people living in New Jersey, New York, California, these high tax states, right, they were able to take advantage of those SALT deductions, which were then capped at $10,000. So if you are living in an area like that, especially on the coast, how then should you be approaching possibly getting involved in the real estate market if those caps are going to be staying at $10,000?
Well, one other thing they did with the mortgage interest, the debt limit pre-2018 was at $1 million. The government lowered it down to $750,000. So now your interest deduction is only based on $750,000. So like I said, with the interest expense, if you're paying interest of $10,000 and your cap deduction was at 10, you're not going to get any benefit of those deductions because you're going to be under the $24,000 standard deduction for a married filing joint taxpayer.
For most people in high tax states, we'll call them, California, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, if you own property, or let me rephrase it, from a tax advantage, is that now simply gone?
Somewhat it is gone because, most people don't realize if they were paying $40,000 of real estate taxes in the past, if they were subject to what's called an alternative minimum tax, a secondary tax, they were not getting the benefit of that deduction anyway. So people have to look at their tax return as a whole to see if they were really getting a benefit. Because a lot of people that were making between $1 million and $2 million were not getting the benefit of that SALT deduction with the real estate taxes.
So then when we talk, because obviously Democrats talked a lot, right, about capping those SALT deductions at $10,000. They're trying, the House passed another resolution to essentially eliminate that $10,000 cap, although it's not expected to pass the Senate.
Correct.
Then is all of this noise that was made around the caps, if some people weren't able to take advantage anyway, is it really just noise? Was it really a big deal?
For the lower income taxpayers, they were getting the benefit. The people between that $1 million to $3 million of income probably were not getting that benefit because of the AMT in the high tax jurisdictions. Someone that's making over $5 million probably were getting the benefit because they were not subject to the AMT. Yes.
Do you feel that the market is at least starting to clear itself in some of the high tax states? I mean, I live in Connecticut, and I could see that things are starting to move after prices came down a bit. I saw anecdotal stuff about Hampton's real estate finally moving after price cuts. Do you feel that the market is reaching a level, at least in the higher tax states, where it's starting to clear? Let's say for the people who don't, who earn six figures, not seven.
Right. Yes, we do. We see that. We see the market, the housing market, stabilizing throughout these jurisdictions. One other thing I want to point out is a state like New Jersey and Connecticut. New Jersey just instituted something last week. They passed a law that's trying to put the deduction for state taxes at a business entity level. So if you had a business, they were having the deduction measured at the entity level and then a credit passed down to the individual. Connecticut has a similar rule like that. But that just was passed last week by Governor Murphy. So there's still a lot to come with that.
Well, keep an eye on it. My grandfather used to say, I wish I had the problems. What was it, $1 million to $2 million for the AMT? Patrick Daly, CPA and partner at Citrin Cooperman. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Hey, investors. Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.